Hey everyone, I hope that you're doing well. I just wanted to check in with you as Brightspace is having some issues this morning. Um, so I will send this out via email as well as an announcement in Brightspace. But I wanted to just touch on a couple of things. First, Unit 1 wrapped up last night. So today is Monday, September 27th. Last night, 26th, was the end of Unit 1. If you weren't able to complete all of the assignments, or if you are unsure about what I'm even talking about, please contact me so that I can help you get on the right track. And do remember that there are no late penalties if you submit work after a deadline in this class. That said, try to keep on top of the deadlines, or else you'll get behind and find that it's really difficult to get everything done. We're moving into Unit 2 today. I will have feedback on everything for Unit 1 via Brightspace later today or early tomorrow morning at the latest. I try to be quicker than that usually, but since Brightspace is acting up, I may or may not be able to have everything for you by the end of today. I do leave you feedback kind of in general terms via these videos and announcements on a regular basis, so check those each week. And also, I give you specific individual feedback through the gradebook in Brightspace. If you're not sure where to find that feedback on each assignment, please let me know, and I'll be happy to help out with that. As with anything, any questions that you have, please don't hesitate to ask. Thinking about what is history, I'm excited to get into your reflections on that on the discussion board in more detail. Something I always like to comment on in Unit 1 is the notion that primary sources are somehow the best sources because they were created at the time of the events that we're studying. In certain ways, I guess that can be true, but we also need to think about the ways in which those were created, right? Many of the people that created primary sources, depending on what it is, never even intended anyone else to read it. If it's a journal entry, for example, or even a personal letter, or they did intend people to read it and they had a stake in what was happening and wanted to make a point about it. So in other words, they took a side. And they had a certain way of thinking about the events that they were witnessing. So we're not just getting kind of the cut and dry facts from historical evidence, but instead we're getting people's interpretations of the facts. We're getting the facts of what happened channeled through their way of seeing the world, through their belief systems. Sometimes people were just outright racist, or classist, or sexist, or whatever it might be. And we have to think about, okay, so how is that shaping the type of account they're giving us? And does that mean that I just have to throw this one away? Or does it mean I read it carefully? Most of the time it means read it carefully. There are a few maybe egregious examples where it wouldn't be the case. But we're going to see a lot of this with the early Spanish sources on Pueblo people, for example. The ways that they thought about Pueblo people's lifeways, their beliefs, were condescending at best and just outright kind of hostile in the worst situations. Their actions toward Pueblos were often violent. That was the reality. Something else to realize, though, is that between Oñate and the Pueblo Revolt, so the entire 17th century that we're going to be studying in Unit 2, there was a lot of peace and accommodation that happened too. That doesn't mean the Spaniards didn't have the power advantage. They certainly did, and that's important. But it's also important to think about how and why there was such a long stretch of relative peace. How did the Spaniards achieve that, and what did it mean for the Pueblo people? And why did a revolt occur in 1680? Those are big questions to think about in Unit 2. So we'll apply what we've learned about the study of history, thinking about the 5 C's and about the reality that history is not objective, but that doesn't mean that we can't find some truth through careful study and interpretation. Applying that to Unit 2, and as we continue the course over the next several weeks, to better understand where we all came from here in New Mexico and how that shapes where we're at today. Um, let's see. I will write some comments in this announcement about the kind of structure of Unit 2. Unit 2 begins the regular quote-unquote structure of what we're doing in our class. So look for that and let me know if you have any questions. I'll also probably have some more to say about the timeline once I'm able to look at all of your personal posts there. I'll send you some feedback via Brightspace, but I'll also probably post a general video to just capture some of the things that might benefit all of us from hearing. So look for that here later today or tomorrow sometime. All right. Again, ask questions early, often. Let me know how I can help. I hope your week is off to a good start.